Hello and welcome to Sport This Morning. I'm Cecilia Omogbe.
And I am Tayo Salam. All right, let's go. It's all about the AFCON. And yes, Senegal are through to the final, back-to-back finals.
Yeah.
After they defeated Burkina Faso 3-1 in the first semi-finals at the Africa Cup of Nations.
All right, also on the program, for the 11th time at the Africa Cup of Nations, the most successful teams on the continent will be facing each other, Egypt and Cameroon.
All right, we're going to see Vincent Aboubakar going against Mo Salah, the Pharaohs and the Indomitable Lions, clashing in the second semi-finals of the Africa Cup of Nations. And one of these teams will be meeting Senegal in the final on Sunday. Also on the program in the NBA, it's not good times at all for the Brooklyn Nets. They lost again for the 6th time in a row. They were defeated by the Sacramento Kings early this morning. We've got a problem in Brooklyn.
Bring back KD, because these two guys can't do anything. All right, of course, we get into the business of the Africa Cup of Nations.
Already, that's what I'm saying. So
it's long. Live it, live it. Did you see up sound?
Enjoy it now. All right, Senegal are back in the final of the Africa Cup of Nations for the second straight edition. And you can see jubilant Senegalese fans there, obviously very delighted. Another step closer to winning that elusive AFCON title, Cecilia.
Yeah, this is the third time they'll be in the final. I believe no African nations have ever been in finals 3 times without at least winning it for a first time. So hopefully this 2021 edition will be Senegal's time. But then this is how you can be a part of this program. Send us your tweet and your email and tell us who will win the Africa Cup of Nations as the business end of the championship. Of course, the Senegal already in the finals. We'll be waiting for Egypt or Cameroon to join them. Will Egypt be able to join Senegal in the final on Sunday? We'll find out later. So send us a tweet and also send us an email and tell us what you think. Who will make it to the final of the Africa Cup of Nations? And who will win the Africa Cup of Nations? Are we going to be having a new winner? Or maybe Egypt and Cameroon will win more because they are the most successful teams at the Africa Cup of Nations. Sport This Morning at channelstv.com and also Twitter, channels_sport. So we'll be able to try to read your mail. Of course, we will not be doing all the talking alone in this Africa Cup of Nations. We've got Fisayo right here in the studio. And of course, we also got Bada Akintunde Johnson joining us from Lekki.
Yeah,
all right.
The guys are ready.
They're ready to talk.
What's up, Bada?
Yeah, morning, guys. Great action we saw last night in the first semi-final, and I get a feeling that the second semi-final will even be a more engaging watch. So can't wait to start to dissect what went down yesterday.
Yeah, we're going to do that in a few seconds. Fisayo, how about you?
It's a pleasure to be on the show.
Yeah.
And we saw a great game yesterday. Both sides. It was first KG in the first half, then second half, after the 70th minute, everything just went off.
Yeah, everything went off. All right, let's take a look at the confirmation of the results, just in case you missed that game somehow, you were too busy or you got caught up in traffic or any other reason. Let's take a look at the confirmation of the results involving Senegal and Burkina Faso. The first semi-final of the AFCON ended 3-1 in favor of the Teranga Lions. Abu Diallo with the first goal for Senegal on 70 minutes. Then Blati Toure pulled one back, definitely for Senegal, for Burkina Faso later on in that one. That was after Bamba Dieng had given them a 2-goal lead. But Sadio Mane, of course, had the final say in that match with a breakaway goal, a goal we've seen him score multiple times, overtimes for Liverpool. But let's quickly dissect what we saw yesterday between Senegal and Burkina Faso. KGFF for the first 70 minutes, but afterwards, everything just seemed to open up. The game seemed to open up, and we saw 3 goals in the final 20 minutes.
My prediction for that game was 3-2 Senegal.
Okay.
I thought there was 4 to 5 goals in that game, and I was sort of proven right. And my prediction, my mind didn't waver in any way regarding my prediction, even after the goalless first half, because I knew that the game was still going to open up. Okay. We were on this show talking about how Senegal had a slow start in front of goal. But look at it, the last 2 games, especially in the knockout rounds, where you don't expect a flurry of goals, have produced 6 goals. So they've arrived at the tournament at the right time. The team has peaked at the right moment. And they thoroughly deserve their place in the next round. You really can't argue against the fact that over the 3 knockout games, they've actually brought their A game. They've sort of shaken off the lethargy that sort of plagued their first round games, where we didn't see that expansive football. We didn't see them create so many chances. As a matter of fact, they scored only 1 goal from the penalty spot. They couldn't create from open play. It was so easy for opposition to nullify them. But from the knockout rounds, they've sort of switched it off or switched it up a few notches. And Sadio Mane continues to be the leader of that team on the pitch of play. His assists were key in the last round. His goals and his assists yesterday. The general quality of his play from the first half, he was the one that was taking on his marker, beating them and taking shots at goal to sort of make the Burkina-Base know that they were in for a game. On the other end, Bertrand Traoré was also trying to make things happen for the Burkina-Base, but his movement, his take-ons weren't as successful as Sadio Mane's on the other end. And first half, they huffed and puffed, didn't quite create clear opportunities. I think the most significant event of the first half was the injury suffered by the Burkina Faso goalkeeper in an unfortunate clash with Cheikhou Kouyaté. Couldn't continue. They had to take him off. And maybe the Burkina Faso team will look at how the replacement goalkeeper performed and feel like if they had their first choice in goal, maybe they would have had a chance. I thought the second goal was careless, and that was a turning point. Once that goal went in, they had a mountain to climb. We were still 1-0 as at when, I think in the last 15 minutes, they sort of clicked into second, third gear and got a goal back. If it was still 1-1, they would have had a big chance. But that error in defense, I don't know what the defender was thinking. It was Sadio Mane, for crying out loud. He should have cleared his line. But he was trying to shield the ball, and Sadio just went rounding, nicked the ball off him and squared it for his teammate to tap into an almost empty net beneath the body of the goalkeeper. It was entertainment galore in the second half. The game became more expansive. The Senegalese used the width of the pitch. I thought Mendy, Leicester City's Mendy, who incidentally Brendan Rodgers doesn't fancy, hasn't even included in the squad for the season. It was massive. He was snapping at anything and winning balls back and progressing play almost immediately. The way they used the flanks was really, really brilliant to watch. And Sadio Mane's quality ultimately proved key, because in those key moments where in the second goal, he hassled the defender and won the ball and squared it for tapping. In the third goal, he held himself around the halfway line and won the ball back, he was an outlet. If he didn't have that sort of understanding and quality to do that, and of course when the ball came to him to make that straight run, and dink the ball over the goalkeeper, all of those things are key, because put another man in the same situation, they probably wouldn't have done as good. But their first goal also was quality. Koulibaly with an overhead kick in the penalty area. It fell to his central defensive partner, who sort of poked home from close range. So you look at the performance yesterday, I feel like the Senegal team was always going to win 1-2. They look like they are a team that can go one better than the last time. We all knew they were favorites for this competition, judging by the quality of the playing personnel and the fact that they were second the last time. And on top of that, the brilliant run they've been on since then. I think they haven't lost a game in 2 years or something like that. So this team is deserving of a place in the final, and maybe the most competent team to we suspect that it might be Cameroon. I suspect it might be Cameroon they face in the final. If there's a team that can maybe stop the home team from winning the tournament in the final game, this Senegalese can be that.
Interesting. Senegal obviously can do that. Fisa is in the studio. Fisa Yomeni, you just heard what Bada said talking about Senegal, how clinical they were. The game was a feisty game. The officiating was affair. I think it's the best I've seen so far in the African Cup of Nations.
People actually said the referee was the man of the match yesterday. He kept everything in check. He wasn't just dishing out cards. He allowed the game flow. Like Bada said, Senegal started this competition slowly, and they gradually grew into the competition. It coincided with Koulibaly and Mendy coming back into the team, and Idris Gueye. So, and yesterday we saw what he did in the midfield alongside Mendy. Like Bada said, they controlled everything. The leadership of Koulibaly was very, very crucial for them. And Mane was still Mane.
Mane was Mane. That's spot on right there.
Yeah.
Okay.
Mane has been so decisive.
He is. I think.
And also, Ismail Assar coming back has taken off a little pressure off Mane. When he came on yesterday, the game opened up and it became very expansive. The attack wasn't just going through Mane, it was going through both flanks.
So it was hard for the Buccaneers to really break them down. Because having some brilliant firepower all in one team.
When you've got, exactly, when you have that option off the bench, quality like Ismail Assar, then you always have a good chance of advancing in the competition. Let's go to the business of today. The host nation, Cameroon, the second most successful side in the competition. They take on the most successful side, the Pharaohs of Egypt, and it's going to be a massive, massive matchup. There's no doubt about it. A lot is at stake. And Bada, let's quickly... before we get to Bada and Fisayo, let's take a listen to Carlos Queiroz. Yes, let's get his pre-game thoughts ahead of that game later today.
And of course, we have a huge respect for the Cameroon team, the players. They've been doing very well. As you said, the striking force of Cameroon, they've been scoring goals. But we're ready. I mean, we have a special today because we are moving to the final games, semi-final and final. After 5 games, I think everything is open for all the teams.
All right, so we all can't wait for the second semi-final of the AFCON between Cameroon and Egypt, the most successful side in this competition. But you talked about yesterday's game while you were previewing it, saying you saw 5-6 goals in the game. You thought it was going to be very interesting. How do you see this one playing out?
Well, it's the best attack in the competition against one of the most disciplined, organized defenses. And when I say defenses, I don't mean just the back four. I mean in terms of how they organize defensively overall. The Egyptian team, Carlos Queiroz, is a master tactician, super experienced, has coached the game all over the world, and he brings all that wealth of experience to bear on this Egyptian team that many will argue is very limited. If you take out what's his name, Salah, and you take out El Neni. There are no, maybe Trezeguet. There are no, world class players in the team. But as a unit, they're very well drilled, very organized. They know exactly what to do on the pitch of play. They set themselves out so detailed. Almost every member of the Egyptian team knows the number of blades of grass to cover per time. They never really go out of shape. They go forward, they fall back into shape very quickly. And you will need that sort of detailed organization and planning to beat this Cameroonian team. If there's any worry I have for Cameroon is that all their goals have come through two players, Toko Ekambi and Vincent Abubakar. And when the production line, Collins Fye, who's also sort of accounted for, I think, three assists on the right side, when you block that production line and you do it at, what we like to call the Italian job on Abubakar and Ekambi, the Cameroonian team gives you the feeling that they can be ordinary down the middle, Sambo and Guiza as well. Those are their standout players. Those are their top quality players. And of course, Cameroon has also shown that much as they can create and score goals, they also give you plenty of opportunities to score against them. I think they've only had one shutout in this entire tournament. And many will argue that they really haven't played a lot of top quality teams, whereas Egypt has played Nigeria, Egypt has dumped out the Ivorians, dumped out the Moroccans. So in terms of big scalps, in terms of highly competitive games, the Egyptians have been involved in more than the Cameroonians have. So, of course, Cameroon in front of their home fans, where in Yaoundé particularly, I hear they haven't lost since 1992 or something like that. It's going to be difficult to beat them. But this Egyptian team is too educated, too skilled, too wily. And, they can do an Italian job, even though they're Egyptians. They can do an Italian job. El Neni, I have to speak about him because I am one of his biggest critics. But I have to confess that the hard work that he's putting in this tournament is staggering. The way he runs so tirelessly, tracking players, pulling people back into shape, dropping back into his role, and just ensuring that there's a solid screen and shield in front of that back four. The Egyptians have played 3 goalkeepers in this tournament. Each of them has been very, very protected. And Cameroon will have to do something extra than they've done in this competition to score. Abubakar and Ekambi have got to be more dynamic about their movement. Maybe the manager might want to play Choupo-Moting in a withdrawn role, in the hole, so that if those guys are sort of marked out, Choupo-Moting can make late runs in. He can get in Guiza further afield and just, sort of try to open up this very, very disciplined, very organized Egyptian team. But I don't see many goals in this one. I think it'll end 2-1. I know the Egyptians will steal a goal. And Cameroon will have to score more than once to get past them.
Interesting. So your prediction is Cameroon will beat Egypt 2-1.
2-1 or 3-1.
2-1 or 3-1. Interesting. Okay, let me quickly come to Fisaya. Fisaya, you listen to the analysis concerning the players they've got. You've got the best attackers right here, Mo Salah, then Vincent Abubakar. The involvement in the goals of both countries since 2017, is staggering. So for you, who will win this game for any of the team? Will it Vincent Abubakar
Personally,
or Mo Salah?
I think the difference maker for this game would be Carlos Queiroz.
Okay.
He has an history of creating discipline side. If we look at the Iranian side that performed so well at the World Cup, they are like a spitting image of this Egyptian side. Very disciplined, defensively solid. Everybody knows what they are supposed to do on the pitch. Look at, like he mentioned, he has played his socks off in this competition. So I think the Egyptians will be ready and they'll be willing to give Cameroon the ball and get them on the counter-attack.
Okay, Egypt for you, right? That's what it's looking like. But what words? Okay.
Yeah, no, before we go, we need to go on the break very soon. I was just going to mention the fact that you talked about Carlos Queiroz being the difference maker in this game. Interestingly, it's 2 Portuguese coach going up against each other, Antonio Conceição.
One is attacking and one is a defensive coach.
And one is a wily old character in Carlos Queiroz, has all the experience in the world. And Conceição obviously is part of the new generation of Portuguese coaches coming. So we'll see who wins that battle on the bench here, but that's going to be after we take this time out. When we come back, there's still more to come on the AFCON preview. Welcome back to Channel Sport this morning. Before we leave the preview of the Cameroon versus Egypt semi-final clash later tonight, there's a little matter involving Carlos Queiroz and Samuel Eto'o. Samuel Eto'o, of course, is an absolute legend of the AFCON Cup of Nations. He's also the Cameroonian FA Federation president. So he visited the team following their quarterfinal victory to just rally the troops pretty much. And this is what he has to say that Carlos Queiroz has a problem with. We have one objective. It's our last game. It's going to be on Thursday. Everything you've done, you need to capitalize on it. Prepare yourself because it will be a war. My guys, it's going to be a war. That's how you have to get fired up for this one, a war. So in that statement, we heard the word war 3 times, yes, right? And Carlos Queiroz, for whatever reason, doesn't like that. Feels football, it's not that serious. That's the message coming from Carlos Queiroz. Let's take a listen to Carlos Queiroz, and we'll get the thoughts of Bada and Fisaya.
A very bad message to the people of Cameroon. I think he forgot that Cameroon people died in the stadium a couple of days ago. And to make this declaration of war before one game, I think he doesn't learn nothing when he was in professional football. Was a very, very unfortunately comment, because football is not about war. Football is about celebration, it's about joy, it's about happiness, because we are here to please the people. We are not here to make people die. We are here to make people to have fun, to have joy. People that they are starving and they only have one moment of happiness when the teams they win one game. So to challenge the team of Cameroon to come and play a war against us, I think is something that I leave to CAF, because one comment like this deserves a red card.
Red card for Samuel Eto'o. That's okay, according to Carlos Queiroz, not according to me. Bada, you've listened, you've heard from both parties. Come on, is it that serious? Surely Eto'o is not talking about an actual war.
Of course, Carlos Queiroz is deliberately, intentionally spinning, intentionally spinning what Eto'o said. It's just all mind games.
Yeah.
He's playing on the fact that there's been some unfortunate incidences in this competition, particularly culminating in the loss of life. But we know that the sort of war that Eto'o is talking about is not a physical war; it's a mental war. Mindset. The attitude with which he expects the indomitable Lions to approach the game with. And that obviously unnerves anybody, because you know when the Cameroonians play already, they play like it's a war. Now imagine when the FA president emphasizes it and expects that there is a different level, a higher level of, sort of approach that depicts that there's war on the pitch. Yeah. So he's talking about CAF taking it up and all those things purely by way of a mind game, just to sort of unsettle the Cameroonians a little bit and make them maybe recant and say, oh, no, it's not that serious. We'll take it easy. Just have fun and enjoy yourself. But we know that the semi-finals of AFCON is not entertainment for the teams that are playing. Yes, they would have to entertain us as part of what they need to do to win on the pitch. But the mentality has got to be almost do or die.
Almost do or die. Interesting. And what was right there. Fisaya, I mean, you were saying behind the scene that it's just a metaphor coming from Samuel Eto'o. Now, with the way Carlos Queiroz is taking his words, it seems on the field of play, it's going to be a lot of physicalities. Maybe we might have some cards flying, red. Yes,
it's going to be it's going physical. To be a battle, very, very physical. Like Samuel Eto'o was just trying to rally his troops, because it's win or bust for the Cameroonian team. As they are the host nation, they are hosting to win. And anything short of victory is not good enough.
Okay, we'll see what's going to happen tonight. Of course, it's 8 p.m. Nigerian time. Cameroon and Egypt both are tired. Okay.
Can't wait
Yeah.
for that
Okay, I
one.
can't wait. Right.
Yeah.
And both one has won 7 times, the other one 5 times. So 12 titles in between them. And this is the 33rd edition of the Africa Cup of Nations. It tells you a lot that 2 teams account for more of the trophies than any other on the continent. All right, we're leaving the games for today and quickly talk about the team who made their debut. Yes, Gambia, they made their debut at the Africa Cup of Nations, and now they're back home, and it was a heroic welcome for the players. It was a successful one for the Gambians, and of course, obviously, you could see, I mean, not a huge population, but then the celebration and everything, as if
like
they won the trophy, you know, going into the continent. But then, I mean, they had a good outing.
Definitely. Cecilia getting to the quarterfinals of the AFCON in this format, 24 teams.
24
it's a massive achievement for such a small country. Tom Saintfield has done a fantastic job. So not surprised to see this kind of reception, this kind of welcome for the Gambia after that fairy tale run to the quarterfinals of the AFCON. We're going to leave you with sights and sounds coming from the reception. We'll also get to listen to their captain and one of the other players. And we'll come back, we'll move on to other things in sport this morning.
Going this far, you know, with no one expected, is something, you know, it's gonna be history for forever. It's gonna be history forever, you know. We cannot say much, but you know, in the history of Gambian football, nobody will gonna forget us. It's crazy. This shows you the love, you know. This shows you the love, the happiness, you know, we brought in their faces, you know. So we cannot say much, but just to say them thank you very much, you know. If you have another word that is better than that, we will say it. But we're gonna say thank you, all the fans, you know, for the support and everything, you know. We appreciate all of them, you know.
We appreciate the love and everything, you know, because some people could be sleeping around, so they came out here to support, so I'm very happy and I'm grateful, you know, just to thank them, you know, and hoping we could give them more satisfaction in football.
Welcome back to Channel Sports this morning. Let's talk about a couple of transfers now. Of course, the transfer window, the January version ended a couple of days ago. 2 transfers, one transfer in particular went down to the wire. I'm talking about that guy on your screen, Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang. Barcelona finally confirming a deal to sign the Gabon striker on a free transfer. And it's safe to say the saga is over. Aubameyang is all smiles, obviously delighted to move away from the situation at Arsenal. Bada, let's come to you. This is another player you're very familiar with for obvious reasons as an Arsenal fan. I mean, it's not ended the way Aubameyang thought it was going to end. You're very familiar with the situation with Mikel Arteta and all of that. But how would you look back on the time of Aubameyang at the Emirates?
I would say he had the good, the bad, and the ugly. The good in terms of the goals that he scored, the very important ones in winning the FA Cup semi-final game, almost single-handedly over Manchester City 2-0, scored both goals, and the FA Cup final game against Chelsea, scored both goals. In the Community Shield game against Liverpool, scored the deciding goal. Of course, a lot of goals in the early parts. Was the quickest Arsenal player to get 50 goals. Let's not forget that. When Ozil was still playing behind him, there was chances aplenty, and he put them away. But in Arteta's second season, he started to struggle. That's after he signed a humongous 350k deal. Whether it was the size of the deal or the complacency that came with knowing that he was now not only Arsenal's most important player, but also captain on the pitch. Aubameyang started to sort of slip up, turning up late for games, turning up late for trainings, not doing things that you would expect of a leader And for a young manager who was looking to stamp his authority on the team, it's easy to see why Arteta would have felt undermined and decided to, at some point, stamp his feet on the ground and say, enough. We're not going to let this carry on among a very good group of players who are very, very young. Remember, Arsenal has the youngest squad in the whole Premier League. And you expect that the more experienced guys will be the ones carrying the team, not the other way. Saka, Martinelli, Odegaard, Smith Rowe, all players under 23. They've been the ones carrying the team for the most part this season. Even when he's played, he's fired blanks, he's missed open goals. His body language hasn't been great. And then on top of that, the disciplinary issues. So I think the club hierarchy just sort of stamped their authority as they should have. And Aubameyang didn't do what I would have expected him to do in the circumstances, just to apologize to the group of players, apologize to the manager, apologize to the team and say, guys, my turning up late for trainings and for matches. I mean, for crying out loud, who turns up late for the North London Derby? Who does that? As a captain of a team, everyone knows the traffic situation in London. So if you are, to play a big game, the most important event in the whole of England that particular day, you should leave your house early. You can't make excuses about traffic. And that's exactly what happened. He was dropped for that game. And then he did it again. The last straw that broke the camel's back was returning late from a trip to see his sick mom. And I lead a business. And when it comes to values and how people interpret them on a day-to-day, it's super important because ultimately the output is dependent on how people conduct themselves within the workplace. And Aubameyang wasn't conducting himself well. And you can tell, even with the Gabonese national team, didn't get to play a game at AFCON, many will argue wasn't due to his fault. But there were whispers and rumors that, he snuck out of, they were not confirmed, but there were suspicions that he might have snuck out to attend a party, and that's, with himself and Mario Lemina. That's why they were let go earlier, because the heart lesion that they mentioned, they didn't pick it up when both of them got back to their respective clubs. So it was packaged in a way as not to embarrass them. It wasn't necessarily because there was a medical problem. So Aubameyang has to look at himself and take responsibility. If he carries on with the same mentality, he will have problems at Barcelona, where it's a similar profile of players these days, young players who need leadership, being led by a young coach in Xavi Hernandez. And historically, Barcelona has always worked with with a set of boys that are well behaved. No frills, no superstar egos. Was one of the reasons why Zlatan Ibrahimovic didn't last playing there. You have to sort of subject yourself to the rules and the regulations of the organization. And he has to be able to do that to revive his career, because right now, his career does need some revival.
Yes, and that's exactly what we'll be looking to do at the new camp. Let's take a listen. Hear the first words of Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang as a Barcelona player.
Yeah, I'm very proud, especially because my family is Spanish as well, from my mother's side. So I'm just really proud and happy to be here. Yeah, my main goal is to help the team and give everything I can to bring the team back in the Champions League and stuff like that. So I'm just happy to be here, and that's amazing. That's amazing to have him as a coach. He has been a fantastic player that everyone knows, and I'm sure as a coach he will bring us something that we will learn definitely.
That's Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang, looking forward to a new chapter as a Barcelona player. But I want to thank you for joining us on the program. Appreciate your analysis as always. Thank you.
Thanks for having me. It's been a pleasure.
Thank you. All right, let's get on with the show and go to the Nigeria Professional Football League. Yes, match day 10. And two teams still unbeaten. They don't know what it feels like to lose a game. Rivers United and Remo Stars, the newly promoted side. I think we should stop calling them newly promoted because they've been in the league for
played 10 days already. 10 games already.
Let's take a look at the results of the games that went down yesterday. Very interesting matchups, and there was a win for Shooting Stars as well, so we'll come to that shortly. But let's start First of all, Cecilia with
Nasarawa
United defeating Enyimba by 2-1. Aqua United, a tighter defense, not going according to plan. It's a bit shaky at the moment. They drew against Kwara United.
Surprising results.
Lost the penalty there, so it could have been worse for Aqua United. Shooting Stars, what a second-half performance coming from the Oluyole Warriors. Yeah, they defeated Heartland by 4-0. It ended goalless between Caterpillars and Remo Stars. Our analysts on the show yesterday thought Remo will be dropping their first game of the season.
They rescued a point there.
But it didn't pan out that way. What a season they have. Rivers United, of course, capitalized on drop points from Remo to go top of the table, or stay top of the table. Yeah, 2-1 over the Kada FC. Rangers lost at home.
That's a shocker.
To Plateau United.
Fear Plateau United right now.
Yeah, you've got to. Elechiku's doing something right with that side going up against their former manager as well, to Abdul Maikaba Rangers. They got all 3 points in that game. Abia Warriors 3-0 over Wiki Tourists. They've always been bad travelers.
Yeah.
Surprised them. Lobby Stars and Niger Tornadoes ended 1 apiece.
Okay, Shooting Stars get our attention right now. I mean, when Shooting Stars came on, we're like, what's going to happen to the team? Usually they come up, the next thing they're out. But right now, at home, they're showing to be showing a very formidable force. Yeah.
The start of the season, they weren't having it their way. They were actually in the relegation zone at the point. But everything just started looking up after their general manager died. So I think it's something supernatural that is happening to them, and they are shooting up the table. This is their 3rd straight victory in the league. Impressive, and they even got an away win over MFM.
Yeah, it's interesting because when they started, we're like, what's going to happen to them? But if you look at the table right now, Shooting Stars are really shooting up, as you mentioned, because their positions are looking really, really great. Teams that you expect not to be at the bottom, they are right here at the bottom. Look at Shooting Stars right now. Their position, they are 6th on the log. Yeah, 6th on the log. 15 points from 10 games. So it's really looking good. And the likes of Kano Pillars, the likes of the Kada FC, MFM, Sunshine Stars, they are all in the other half of it. And these are the goals coming from the game. I believe the fans, of course, as usual, turn up in their numbers. And the coach is obviously a very, very happy man this morning. Let's listen to Edith Agoye.
No team fancy going to Ibadan to face Shooting Stars.
That's what it's looking like.
Hard work, and hard work. And the belief of the players that they could turn it around on the field of play. They did it against Kwara United. It was a last-minute goal. It was a big turning around that we needed. In Lagos, they repeated the same feat. And today, the players, they mark themselves present on the field of play today. We are very happy that finally we are winning games. We've been playing well ever since, but unfortunately, we haven't been taking our chances. And this, to a large extent, contributed to us losing games here and there. But now, we've been converting chances, and the players, they've kept it tight at the back as well. It's a bit difficult for opponents to score against us. I think this has been the tonic that we needed, and we got it for this great performance today. Every game, we always go out for the 3-point at stake, be it at home or be it at away. Sometimes you take it, sometimes you don't take it. But like always, we'll go to Ikene, very competitive. We'll fight for the 3 points at stake over there, and hopefully we're able to take it.
Interesting to note that game, at the first half, it was goalless. So all the goals came in the second half. There must be something that Edith Agoye told his players, and they went all gun blazing, scoring all 4 goals in that second half. Yeah. Are you going to say something?
Yeah, one thing must be said. You've got to consider the opponents on the day.
Okay.
Because I'm sure those guys just felt second. I'm not going to kill myself. I mean, it's well documented what's going on with Heartland. It's a shame.
Yeah,
it's not a funny matter at all. But we just hope that is resolved as soon as possible. So these players can,
I mean, eat and play football. Yeah, because it's looking like...
okay. Good salaries and expect them to perform.
To perform for 90 minutes. They might give you 45 minutes.
Or thereabouts. It's not possible.
They get 45 minutes and the other 45 minutes. You know what? Yeah, let's just relax. Play up, guys.
We won't get paid, so let's just relax and enjoy ourselves.
Okay, let's quickly go to Nigerian Women's Football League. Yes?
One more game today, though. MFM
will be up against Gombe United. Yes, I mean, that game. Let's see if MFM can pick up a point.
Tough one.
Yeah, because that's what the coaches promised the fans, picking a point from Gombe.
MFM are not having a very rosy right now.
Yeah.
They are struggling.
I think this is their worst season since they came to Nigeria Professional Football League.
Yeah, the bottom of the league.
Not looking good. Okay, NWFL right now will get us talking. They're going to be going on a mid-season break from today, then resuming February 23rd. But we'll take a look at the games that were played yesterday. And the thing is, Nassau Amazons and Rivers Angels are top of their group at the end of the first stanza. Nassau Amazons beat the Conference Quiz by 2-0. Pelican Stars finally tire. They won their first game of the season, the first one of the season against Niger Rattles. And Oshun Babes and Adamawa Queens. Also, Oshun Babes, their second win of the season, winning against Adamawa. And in Group B, we have Rivers Angels and Sunshine Queens. Rivers Angels had to bounce back from that defeat to beat Sunshine Queens to 1. Royal Queens and FC Robo. Royal Queens went all the way, FC Robo went all the way to Delta to get all 3 points at Royal Queens. Royal Queens, remember how they were thrashed by Delta Queens 5-1, but then they just couldn't, still at home, they couldn't get anything against FC Robo. For Abia Angels and Delta Queens, it ended goalless. Now, this is what the table is looking like at the end of the first stanza of the Nigeria Women's Football League. These are the what's looking at. Nassau Amazons in Group A, 15 points after 6 games. And of course, they lost 1 game. And Edo Queens that remain unbeaten at the end of the first stanza, they are second on the log with 14 points, followed by Niger Rattles. And of course, Pelican Stars getting their first win of the season at bottom of the table. And in Group B, Rivers Angels, of course, are the ones topping Group B after 6 games on 13 points. Bayelsa Queens also losing 1 game this season. But Delta Queens yet to lose. They are third on the log, and simply because of their draws, that's why they are third on the log. And Royal Queens bottom with 4 points from 6 games. We need to go on a break. When we come back, of course, squash will get our attention. All right, welcome back. Let's quickly talk about another sport. Squash Open Championship. The under-16, under-17 was held at the weekend. Of course, you have a star winner for it, Mustura. He's a winner for that Open Championship in Lagos. It happened at the Teslim Balogun Squash Court. She defeated Delight Allison 3-0. That was the under-16 girls category. Interesting one because she also won the championship before this one, coming into this championship. Over 100 squash players participated at the competition. And of course, the chairman of the Lagos State Association, Tomi Falase, is really excited that this is going to help most of the players, develop their game and also, see if they can make this professional. When you say professional, at the elite, the highest level.
Yeah, fantastic platform for squash players in the country. Let's not forget Busayo Olatunji as well, who she won the senior women's category, while Dominion Okukpe won the men's junior event. So these are players to watch out for in squash.
All right, let's get reactions from the winners.
Having been I've won this tournament very consecutively, continuously. So I'm going to go into the next category, which is under 19, and hopefully I'll win those ones.
This is part of our development, and this tournament in itself has proven that the talent exists. We have the skills, both the junior and the senior. The junior particularly have excited me a lot. They have, the potential is huge. The potential is huge. For the senior category, it's just been simply outstanding. And this is as a result of rigorous training, coaching, and many other things. So the future is very bright for squash, for the players, and for squash generally in country.
That's the chairman, Lagos State Squash association. I'm really happy with the players' performance and, of course, how squash will develop in the country. Hopefully, these players will get opportunity to play international competitions. But then this is the way to start, at the, grassroots level. Yeah.
And it's actually very good other sports are getting exposure. There is not just football, basketball, and athletics. It's good that we are getting them young.
Indeed.
All right.
No reason why Nigeria cannot be a multi-sport nation. Be successful in multiple sports when it comes to international competitions.
Yeah, I love the word successful.
Yeah, not just
participate.
All right. Let's move on quickly to one of the most popular sports in the country, basketball, even though they've got their issues right now, the drama going on. But we're not going to be talking about the drama. We're talking about on-court action. The Elite Basketball Championship is still ongoing. We have results for you from day 2. Kwara Falcons lost against the Lagos Islanders. That's a bit of a surprise right there. Lagos Legends defeated the Down Warriors 75-39. Ebu Comments lost scandalously against Unilag 36-63. Rivers Hoopers, of course, expectedly bounced back from losing the first game. They defeated the Raptors 65-47. Action will continue today. We have the fixtures for you. Lagos Legends versus Raptors. Rivers Hoopers versus Dodon Warriors. There's also Ebu Comments taking on Islanders, and Kwara Falcons versus Unilag.
Kwara Falcons, watch out.
Watch out.
Unilag.
All right, guys, let's go. Still talking basketball. Let's go to the United States. The NBA is going to get us talking right about now. 9 games played overnight, late last night and early this morning Nigerian time. And we have all the results for you as well, too. There were victories for the Orlando Magic as well as the Philadelphia 76ers. We also had wins for the Boston Celtics, the Memphis Grizzlies. The Cleveland Cavaliers lost surprisingly against the Houston Rockets, while the OKC Thunder were simply marvelous against the Dallas Mavericks, 120-114. That's how it ended. In other games, the Utah Jazz defeated the Denver Nuggets, 108-104. And there were also wins for the Kings and the LA Lakers. LA Lakers led by AD, making sure they didn't suffer a 4th straight loss. AD was the star of the show in that game. They rallied to beat the Portland Trail Blazers 99-94. But our feature matchup is between the Kings and the Brooklyn Nets. The Brooklyn Nets, of course, came into the season with championship aspirations and started well. We're top in the Eastern Conference for a long time, but they have definitely hit a roadblock right now. They've lost 6 in a row thanks to Chimeze Metu, the Tigers forward, coming off the bench to score. Chimeze Metu coming off the bench to score 11 points and grab 12 rebounds in that victory for the Sacramento Kings over the Brooklyn Nets. 6 losses in a row. James Harden had a very rough night. Finished with just 4 points. You seen James Harden scoring 4 points?
That's like very, very ridiculous.
Yeah?
I said it's very ridiculous. James Harden, a flat-out scorer, just getting 4 points in a game is very, very strange. One of the wonders of the world.
2 of 11 shooting.
Yeah. That's how bad it was. Now he's nursing a sore hand, so it's hard for him. So that's why he was able to manage just 4 points on the night.
And actually, I think the whole Kyrie drama is actually getting to the team. Him not getting vaccinated. Yes.
Really?
He plays this game, he's upsetting the rhythm of the team. He plays this game and the next game he's not playing. He comes back, he plays and he's not playing. So definitely he's upsetting the synergy in the team. And KD is out.
Absence as well.
Yes, KD's absence as well is...
Talking about Kyrie didn't fare to any better than James Harden. He scored 14 points, which is decent, but he shot just 5 of 15 from the field. And this is the longest skid for the Brooklyn Nets since December 26 to January 7, 2020. So they will have to find a way to bounce back and start winning games as soon as possible. Let's get the post-game thoughts coming from Steve Nash, James Harden, and Kyrie Irving.
Our level of play just dropped significantly in the second half. Both sides of the ball, we let guys beat us off the dribble at a much higher rate than we did in the first half. And we just didn't make shots, didn't make plays, and we looked tired, frankly.
A little bit of everything.
What do you have to do to correct it?
Keep chipping away, day at a time. That's all you can do. Come together closer, even tighter. It's definitely frustrating. It's definitely, difficult, but we got to find a way to get out of it as a group.
I wouldn't call it issues. It's just, we don't want to make it bigger than just figuring out how to win a basketball game and cement that blueprint and then being able to follow that into game after game. This is a growth period that we're in, and that's the way I see it. I think we spoke yesterday, so I just saw y'all. But yeah, just a lot of that is just cementing the blueprint where we can feel confident game to game, and we're not losing leads or taking our foot off the gas pedal.
As Kyrie Irving speaking after the Nets lost for the 6th straight time. Before we leave basketball, let's take a look at the top performers before we go and see what the papers are saying. Anthony Davis, very instrumental to the Lakers, ending their 3-game losing streak, 30 points, 15 rebounds, and 2 assists.
At 3 blocks.
Yeah, for good measure. All right, let's move on to LaMelo Ball, 38-6 and 9 assists for Charlotte. Next up is LeBron's Dort, 36 and 3. Fantastic performance from the young star right there. Luka Doncic starting to look like his normal self now. 46 and 10 after a slow start to the season. And last but not the least, Norman Powell. Fantastic game as well too for the Blazers. Unfortunately, it wasn't enough against the Lakers. 35 and 1 assist. They lost that game.
Okay.
All right. So before we look at basketball, finally, Cecilia, I've got a very interesting stats and facts coming from the NBA. Desmond Bain, interesting. We talked about him a couple of days ago. He's got Nigerian connection, right?
Did he say he wants to play for Nigeria? No.
So fingers
that's the story I want to hear.
Yeah, but that's not what we're talking about now. So let me just run through this fact quickly before we leave basketball. So Shemi, listen as well to, he wears the number 22 jersey, right, for Memphis. Yesterday or this morning, he shot 22.2% from the field. Okay. Had 2 assists. Okay. He had 2 blocks. He had 2 steals. He had 2 fouls, 2 turnovers. What was yesterday's date again?
2/2/2022.
Yeah.
This
is crazy.
Historic. So we'll screenshot that. Do we have to quickly? Let me take 2 emails, right? 2 tweets, right? Noble Flyerman says, "I'm still in shock over. Come on now, exit of the Super Eagles. I fancy Senegal to win as they truly deserve it. Please tell Amaju Pinnick we won't accept anything less of, a ticket to the World Cup, all right? Or else what? Okay." Oladimeji says, hello, Times. I would have loved Burkina Faso in the final, but kudos to them. Nigeria should focus on Ghana. Senegal will win the Nations Cup. That's according to David. And, of course, this one coming from Joshua. He says, Senegal started their campaign in a blissful way. I see them winning the finals. Also, Edouard Mendy and Sadio Mane should see their first international trophy. Okay. Cameroon will win the AFCON, that's according to Edema. And Mr. Speaker says he's no more than they deserve. Okay, Senegal, of course, will win it because of the firepower they have. All right, there's so many, but then that's all we can take. Now, quickly, the papers. Okay, should I take just one paper? Okay, this one is NFF dumps Pesero. That's coming from Sporting Sun. Eguaveni, Super Eagles coach, gets 2-year contract to earn over 3 million monthly and to be assisted by Amunike. That's the headline coming from Sporting Sun. So that's how we're going to leave the studio this morning. So, Fisayo, thank you so much.
It's always a pleasure being on the show.
Thank you. Thank you all for watching as well. Enjoy the rest of your day.
I'm Cecilia Morbe. Bye for now.